Living off-grid on a boat is one of those ideas that sounds incredible, right up until you actually do it. On land, you use electricity the way a dog uses enthusiasm, freely, recklessly, with no memory of consequences. On a boat, electricity is more like a delicate houseplant. If you forget about it, it dies. If you overwater it, it dies. If you look at it wrong, it dies. People imagine off-grid boat life as sunsets and anchorages, maybe a gentle guitar riff and some Jimmy Buffett in the background. What they don't imagine is standing in your cabin at 9 o'clock at night, staring at a battery monitor like it's a courtroom verdict, whispering, "You've got this till morning, buddy." And here's the thing no one explains clearly enough. Living off-grid on a boat is not about having more stuff. It's about using less, using smarter, and timing everything like you're robbing a bank. So let's talk about how people actually make this work in the real world. Alright, the first principle of off-grid boat living: if something makes heat and you can avoid making that heat with electricity, do that. Always, no exceptions. Take coffee as an example. On land, you press a button. On a boat, that button quietly consumes your entire morning energy budget like a raccoon in a pantry. Instead, boil water on the propane stove. Propane doesn't care about your batteries. Propane doesn't glare at you from a screen on a battery monitor. Propane just does its job. French press, pour over, whatever your religion happens to be. You're making coffee with fire, like a sensible adult, not draining electrons like a teenager mining crypto in their parents' basement. And this logic applies everywhere. Cooking, boiling water, heating anything. Electricity is precious. Fire is cheap. Use accordingly. Now let's talk about hot water, because this is where dreams go to die, and you want a hot shower. Heating water with electricity is brutally hard on an off-grid system. It's like asking your batteries to lift a couch and then being surprised when they file a complaint. A 6-gallon electric water heater, like I have on my boat, can chew through about 50 amp hours in 15 minutes. That's not a guess. That's how much mine uses. That's a real number. And 50 amp hours doesn't sound scary until you realize that's the difference between comfortable evening and why are we eating crackers in the dark. The smart move is cheating. Always cheat. Use engine heat. If your water heater, like it is on most boats, is plumbed to the engine's cooling loop, congratulations, you already own a water heater powered by diesel that you were going to run anyway. Run the engine to charge the batteries or move the boat, or just shower after you've moved the boat, or just keep things healthy by starting the engine, and boom, hot water appears like magic. If you're going to use the electric element in the hot water heater, do that when the sun is absolutely hammering your solar panels. Middle of the afternoon, 2 or 3 p.m., batteries 100%, and the bright, smug sunshine is hitting those panels. That way the energy goes in and comes right back out. You're not stealing anything from later on tonight. You're just borrowing it from now. Off-grid life rewards timing. Bad timing is punished swiftly and without mercy. Which brings us to the big one. Power systems. People obsess over batteries and battery capacity, watts and amps and all those things. Battery chemistry too. Battery brand names are spoken like it's a religion. And batteries matter, absolutely, but production matters more. You can have all the storage in the world and still be broke if nothing's coming in. About 600 amp hours of usable battery capacity is generally a lot for 2 people to live sensibly, even with a little bit of air conditioning here and there. But production can never be too much. If you're thinking about solar and wondering, is this enough? The answer is no. Add more, and then add more again. Stack solar on solar, panels on panels. If there's space that sees the sun, it should probably be making electricity for you. Wind generation can then trim around the edges if you're somewhere breezy, and it's a nice supplement. But the solar's the workhorse, and everyone who undersizes their solar system regrets it. No one wakes up in the morning and says, you know what ruined my cruising life? Too much solar. Electricity anxiety is cured by overproduction. Consider also a second alternator, a big one that can cram 200 amps right into the batteries like I cram tacos into my face. Now, air conditioning, the forbidden fruit. Air conditioning on a boat is like inviting a professional eater to an all-you-can-eat buffet and then being surprised when everything's gone. It's dramatic, it's relentless. It'll flatten your energy budget with the enthusiasm of a monster truck. The better approach is ventilation, real ventilation, not one sad little hatch cracked open like it's embarrassed. The goal is major airflow. You want air coming in low, moving through the boat, and leaving high. Wind scoops, door raids if your boat has them, open hatches, fans where they make sense, and a screened companionway so the boat can breathe without turning into a bug sanctuary. Think of it like plumbing, but for air. You're not just letting air in, you're giving it a path to move through the boat. Air comes in the hatches, flows through the living space, picks up all the heat, and exits through the companionway like it's late for an appointment. When it's done right, the boat cools naturally. Your batteries stay happy, and you don't wake up at 2 a.m. wondering why the inverter is beeping again from low voltage. Another thing people don't expect is how much power disappears even when nothing seems to be on. Phantom loads are the silent assassins of off-grid life. Inverters sipping power just to exist. Chargers waiting patiently for a device that isn't coming. Routers glowing softly, draining amps while you sleep. If something doesn't need to be on, turn it off. Better yet, give it a switch. Hard switches, real ones, the kind that make a satisfying click and mean something. And whenever possible, stay in DC. Every time you go from DC to AC and back again, you lose energy. It's like mailing a letter to yourself across town instead of just walking next door. DC fans, DC refrigeration, DC charging. Save the inverter for things that genuinely need inverted power. Otherwise, it's just burning fuel to make heat that you didn't ask for. Refrigeration deserves special mention too because it's usually the single biggest continuous load on any live-aboard boat. Every time you open the fridge, cold air falls out like it's escaping a crime scene. Organize it, insulate it, know what you're grabbing before you open it up. Freezers are wonderful, but they're also relentless. Add one only if your system can support it comfortably, not optimistically. Water discipline also matters more than people realize. Less water used means less pumping. Less pumping means less electricity. Salt water for pre-rinsing dishes? Sure. Spray bottles instead of running taps? Everything you do with water has a quiet electrical cost attached to it. And now, internet. This one actually surprises people. Starlink internet is a sneaky power hog. That standard RV or home dishy pulls way more power than most people expected it to, often over 5 amps continuously and sometimes even more, all day, all night. It's like leaving a small appliance running forever. The smarter option is the Starlink Mini. It's a bit of a different story, runs on 12 volts and uses a lot less power, making it far more realistic for off-grid boats. This is one of those gear choices that quietly determines whether your system feels comfortable or constantly stressed. It's not just about speed or convenience, it's about whether your batteries sigh or scream every time you open your laptop. Ultimately, living off-grid on a boat is about scheduling your life around the energy. Heavy loads during peak sun, light living after dark. You stop using things casually, you start using them very intentionally. And here's the secret part. This isn't deprivation, it's clarity. You know the saying, it's easier to save $1 than it is to earn an extra one? That's the same with electricity. If you can avoid using the amps, you won't have to replace them. You stop wasting power on nonsense. You stop needing as much, and in return, you get anchorages instead of marinas, silence instead of people pushing dock carts, and the strange satisfaction of knowing exactly how the world around you works. Off-grid boat life isn't harder, it's just more honest. And if you respect the system, it'll take care of you. If you don't, it'll remind you, immediately, in the dark. And as long as we're talking about heating things in propane stoves, did you see this article called DIY Stovetop Cabin Heater? Tired of choosing between cold cabins and sketchy portable heaters? Drew Fry's clever DIY heater uses scrap materials and an existing non-pressurized alcohol stove to create a safe, vented heating system in about an hour. No complex installation required. What a cool idea. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out, but it also lets YouTube know that you like stuff like this, so it'll show you more of it. How cool is that? And hit subscribe so that I can see you again next time.